So we got some big injury news on both sides of this matchup that's happening on Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time between the Baltimore Ravens and the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, this is going to be a good one. But unfortunately for both teams, some big names are going to be out. And let's get straight into it, starting off with the Baltimore Ravens. It is not expected that Kyle Van Noy plays in this game. They said he got not only hamstring issues, but neck issues as well. So the Baltimore Ravens have him listed as doubtful. Kyle Van Noy has not practiced all week. So you know how that goes. When somebody don't practice all week, it ain't looking good for them to play in the game on Sunday. So he's probably not going to play. So this is a big game, an even bigger game for guys like Odafe Oweh, guys like David Ojabo. So maybe he'll be active in this game. So he's going to have to step up. All them boys going to have to step up, man, because you're going up against a really, really good offensive line. And they're going to like you're going against a good offensive and defensive line when it comes to the Eagles. So that's going to be a big challenge in itself. So Ravens, you know what to do. You already know what time it is. But also with Roquan Smith, they said he has no injury designation whatsoever. So he is officially good to go. He's been back at practice this week, as we already talked about. But Roquan Smith will be in this game, so that should be a big help to the Baltimore Ravens and just add to the quality of the Baltimore Ravens team. We saw when Roquan Smith was out, a lot of us were worried, especially like, oh, man, Malik Harrison, he ain't really looked so good this season so far. And then we were thinking, oh, man, he's going to start the whole game. And then that first drive happened, and we were like, oh, boy. But then Ravens made their adjustments. Malik Harrison locked in, and the rest of them boys did as well, and they were A-OK. So now with Roquan Smith back, continue to make those adjustments, Zach. Continue to do your thing, because ever since you benched Marcus Williams and Eddie Jackson, well, they did a little more than benching Eddie Jackson, but ever since you made the change at the safety position, then y'all been doing your thing. And we love it, we respect it, we admire it, we appreciate it, we need it. So keep on doing what you've been doing. Now, on the Eagles side of the ball, Darius Slay, big play Slay, he has already been ruled out of this game with a concussion, so he will not play. And Devontae Smith, their big play, one of their big play wide receivers, because you only got a couple over there. Of course, they got A.J. Brown, who is a baller. They got Devontae Smith, who is also a baller, but he is questionable right now with a hamstring injury. Us as Ravens fans, we know all about hamstring. I mean, we know all about all kinds of injuries, but certainly hamstring injuries, and they are very, very tricky. Because one day your hamstring could be great, the next day your hamstring could be terrible, and if you got a hamstring injury, you just never know with these type of things. So with Devontae Smith, his status is up in the air, and I guess we'll know tomorrow. We'll know tomorrow. I don't think they're going to really give him an injury designation today, like as far as if he will officially play or not in the game. I think they're going to it's going to come down to a pregame workout routine. If he can go, then he'll go, but if he can't, then he'll be out. So I guess we'll just see when we get there. Now, something that we ain't got to wait on seeing, because it's already here, are these Revenge Season Heart of the City hoodies. And if you want yours this week, the deals are still going on. You can get your Revenge Season hoodie for $20. $20. That's it. And Heart of the City, they love y'all so much that they still are putting on for y'all, because all of their other hoodies are $40 this week. And then on top of that, when you use code Ingraven30, on top of this hoodie only being $20, on top of their other hoodies only being $40, on top of that, the deals don't stop. When you use code Ingraven30, you get 30% off your entire order. So if you get one hoodie, you get 30% off of that. If you get two hoodies, you get 30% off the whole order. If you get 4, 10, 20, 30 hoodies, you get 30% off your entire order with code Ingraven30. Hit up Heart of the City Clothing. The link is down in the description. So now we done reach my favorite part of these videos, where we get to feature your questions. If you would ever like to be part of it, you can send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com, or for the Team Keep It Clean patrons. Shout out to y'all, by the way. If you would like to become a Team Keep It Clean patron, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. And another way, if you ever want to use it to send in a question, it's a different way. It's a unique way. You can send something to the P.O. Box. The address for that is down below in the description. So let's get into this first question from actually the newest Team Keep It Clean patron, my guy AM Gang. He must wake up early in the morning, my friend. Anyway, he said, hey, Ingraven, a while back, I sent you. Oh no! First off, he said, "What's going on, Unc?" like Y'all gotta call me Unc, man. I ain't that old. Anyway, he said, I hope you and the family are doing well, man. I sent you a message a while ago regarding a tough time in my life. I want to let you know I appreciate you for the positive thoughts about it. Hey, no, that's great, man. That's great. And it sounds like and seems like whatever that tough time was that you got through it. And that's what we love hearing on here. Like, we don't love hearing about people going through tough times, but unfortunately it happens to all of us. But it's about getting through it. And it's like a lot of times when stuff is tough, when stuff is rough, when you're struggling with something, it can seem like it ain't never going to end. It can seem like that so much times, man. And it's so frustrating. It can seem like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened. I ain't never going to get through it. But then whether it's days later, weeks later, months later, years later, whatever it is, when you look back at it, you're like, man, I got through it. I made it through that, man. So, and then that can build you up for the next tough time because you'll realize like, man, I got through that tough time, and yeah, this may be a completely different situation, but you know what? I'm going to get through this one too. So it can just change your entire outlook on when you face adversity in life, man. So I'm happy for you, man. He also said, also, this game coming up against the Eagles. However this game turns out for the Ravens, will this be our outcome of us winning a Super Bowl? I'd like to hear your thoughts. If the Ravens win this game against the Eagles tomorrow, then yes, that'll be our outcome for the Super Bowl. If the Ravens lose a game tomorrow against the Eagles, then no, it won't be our outcome for the Super Bowl. Because Ravens are winning the Super Bowl this year. Like, it's already set in stone. It's already written. It's already done. It's happening. Ravens are winning the Super Bowl this year. So whether it be against the Eagles, whether it be, I'm more so thinking the Lions. I'm thinking we get that Super Bowl we probably should have got last year, but then, anyway. So whoever it is, like, Ravens gonna take care of business and get that Lombardi trophy. This next question also came from a new Team Keep It Clean patron. Shout out to Wilmer G. Appreciate you becoming a Team Keep It Clean patron. You said it. Hey, Ingraven, first time sending in a question, so forgive me for the rant. What's going on, brother? No, it's okay. You ain't got to apologize for it, because I'm looking at this. This is only like a couple paragraphs long, and there be some people that be sending stuff way longer than this, and they don't be apologizing. So you don't apologize for nothing, my friend. Anyway, he said, man, I've been watching videos for a while now and see how much dedication you put into this craft. Keep up the grind. I believe yourself and for the flock put out some brilliant content. High praise for both of y'all, for real. Oh yeah, shout out to my guy Noah. That's that guy right there, man. He is the guy when it comes to Ravens content. Shout out to Noah, man. Best in the business, man. Anyway, he said, I got two questions. Number one, do you think Todd Monken can draw up a playbook like Andy Reid? I can't say that right now. But I can say something that I mentioned earlier this season, and I talked about the best offensive play callers in the game. And I said that is Andy Reid, and I said that it's also Kyle Shanahan, because what they do with their guy, they make so many different people weapons, they make so many different people problems, they make so many different people options for those teams' offenses. Obviously the 49ers are not healthy right now, but the Chiefs and the 49ers, those offenses, they are just problems, man. And I know the Chiefs this year has been a little different over there on the offensive side of the ball, but just overall, they got some nice resumes, and they have made a lot of people weapons. And I said with Todd Monken this year, like when you think about it, even dating back to last year, Todd Monken's been doing a lot of the same stuff. We're just making a lot of different people weapons. Like you look at Isaiah Likely, he turned into a legitimate weapon. You look at guys like, and I don't mean just the big name guys. Like obviously Derrick Henry, obviously Lamar Jackson, those are weapons. But then look at Rashad Bateman this year. You look at what he did with Zay Flowers last year and this year too as a rookie and a sophomore. You look at Justice Hill, what he's doing. You look at undrafted rookie free agent from last year, Keaton Mitchell. So look, Todd Monken, he been doing a lot of the same stuff. To look at Tylan Wallace whenever he gets a chance. He just shows out every time he gets the ball in his hands. He makes something happen. So with Todd Monken, is he on the level of an Andy Reid or Kyle Shanahan? No, he's not. But He's been doing this, and we know he got his moments. He certainly got his moments where we like, hey, why y'all forgetting about Derrick Henry? Hey, why y'all getting so cute? Hey, why you gotta be so pretty, man? Why you doing that? He got those moments, but he has been overall, the resume is certainly getting there, man. And he said, I feel like if he can dial up some crazy looks, it's really going to be a pick your poison type of offense times 10. He said, now don't get me wrong, Todd is doing his thing, but I feel like we need him to turn it up a notch with the creativity. We definitely look predictable at times with our plays. So there you go. Yeah. So again, he's on his way, but he still got a ways to go. But he's been doing his thing, so he getting there, man. He said number 2. Do you think we'll see Hamilton, Tampa, Wiggins starting 3 cornerback room for future games this season into the future? This season, no, not at all. Why would they start TJ Tampa? They're not gonna start him. You have Nate Wiggins, you got Marlon Humphrey, you got Brandon Stevens, you got Tre'Davious White. TJ Tampa is not going to start over any of those guys at all. He may get some playing time like late in the game or whatnot, but he's not going to start over any of those guys. Now, into the future, possible. Well, you got Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins right now. Brandon Stevens is going to be a free agent. They're not going to re-sign him. Tre'Davious White, I could see them signing him to like a future deal for him to come back super, super cheap. So TJ Tampa, he has a possibility next year, but this year, no, not at all. I just say, hope you and the family continue to stay safe, blessed, and we got the dub this weekend. Go Ravens. Next question came from my guy Jamin. He said, hey, Ingraven, how you doing, bro? Hey, I'm good. I hope you're doing even better. He said, I'm in Maryland, headed to the Penn State versus Maryland game, and hopefully I'll be going to the Ravens game with my dad. Oh, hopefully you do. That'd be nice, man. That'd be real nice. He said, my question is, what do you think is the best way to attack the Eagles' defense? I think if we balance the run with the counters, inside zone mixed with deep over routes with our tight ends, we can score pretty well. How would you deploy our defense? Thanks so much for all you do. Appreciate it. I appreciate you, my friend. As far as attacking Eagles defense, I just say stick with your guns, man. Stick with your bread and butter, man. Like, feed Derrick Henry. Feed him. Now, the part with that, them outside runs, man. I would say the toss plays, the pitch plays. You could try to run it up the middle, and Ravens are going to try to run it up the middle. But I think in this game, like again, you're going against Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. I think you probably best to try to run it to the outside. So get Derrick Henry going with that. And for the passing game, just continue doing what you've been doing. That's it. Just continue doing what you've been doing. Like, I feel like with the Baltimore Ravens and their passing attack, it's been really, really good overall this year. They've had some moments where it's like, ugh, what is that? But overall, it's been really, really good this year. So continue doing what you've been doing. Like, Ravens have been attacking downfield. You know, Lamar always want to go for that kill shot, man. That man always want the deep ball. But over the past couple of years, something that the Ravens have really been incorporating a lot, which we all appreciate like crazy, because it's funny because with Joe Flacco, it was like, man, you do this all the time. With Lamar Jackson before, it was like, Lamar, you don't never do this. So as Ravens fans, we had been trying to find a happy medium for the longest, and that is the check down. With the check, like Joe Flacco is so crazy that on a 4th and 27 or 4th and 28, whatever it was, this man threw a check down. It worked, but he threw a check. You know how crazy that is? On a 4th and 20-something that you threw a check down where you needed 27, 28 yards? Like, that's insane, man. But with Flacco, he just threw that check down so much. But with Lamar, he would never throw that check down before. Never. We'd be like, Lamar, take it. Take what the defense give. He steady going for the deep ball, though. But under Todd Monken, again, we just seen such the growth that we have wanted to see with Lamar that we knew Greg Roman was holding back for so long, man. So we've been just very, very grateful for Todd Monken. But yeah, it's important to do that. Just attack them any possible way that you can, man. Keep doing what you've been doing. You ain't really got to change up nothing against the Eagles. Yeah, they got a good team, and they got them two like they got what's his name? Jason. Is it Jason Seymour? Was that his name? Y'all remember him? No, not Jason Sehorn. Is it Jason Sehorn or Jason Seymour? Oh, I forget his name. The guy that used to play cornerback for the Giants. Oh my goodness, I'm struggling to remember his name now. But the Eagles got two of them back there. They got with Reed, Blankenship, and then Cooper DeJean. I said, okay, man, I see y'all boys playing cornerback. I see you, but hey, the boys are ballers though, man. But Ravens just keep doing what you've been doing, man. Lamar Jackson been doing an amazing job this year. Really taking care of the football, and just keep on doing that. Like, he early on this year, even the picks that he threw. Again, we know none of them were his fault. But then he had the fumbles early on, but ever since he been cleaning all that stuff up, all of it. So, he can't do nothing about the Justice Hill drop and the Rashad Bateman drop and the Mark Andrews drop with that turning the picks. But as far as what Lamar's been doing on his end with the he been fumbling no more. He been holding it down, man. So keep doing what you're been doing. And we talked about this in a previous video where people have asked, like, man, why isn't he running? Why isn't he running? And I will say, hey, Lamar, do your thing. Get it how you got to get it, man. But again, it seems as if Lamar Jackson is really preserving himself for not only the playoffs, but even the bye week, just to get that extra rest. Because this is the Ravens' last game heading into the bye week. I just realized that. So we're going to have a little break. We ain't going nowhere, but Ravens going to have a little break. So it's very, very important that, again, they want to go in as healthy as possible. But you don't want to play reserve. You don't want to be playing, oh, you know what, I'm not doing that. I'm holding myself back. No, you got to still do your thing. But just be smart about it. So continue to do what you've been doing. That's what I would say as far as that. How would I deploy our defense for the Ravens defense? Let's see if Devontae Smith plays. And I mean, regardless if you don't or not, I would have Marlon Humphrey follow A.J. Brown. I mean, I remember A.J. Brown gave Marlon Humphrey fits in that Titans playoff game from years ago. Oh my God, he did him nasty. But as far as Ravens defense, don't fix what's not broken. Still continue to give Tre'Davious White a lot of snaps. Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, still have Kyle, Super Duper Kyle, and Darius Washington drop back. I would, again, like we've been talking about with Brandon Stevens, I would really use him as a weapon, though, too. Have him moving around, have him blitzing, have him doing a lot of different stuff, just so he's not at one set spot. But he can contribute to the game in a lot of different ways. With Roquan Smith, with him being back, with him and Malik Harrison, do you want to have them on the field at the same time? Because, again, they are both thumpers. They are both hard-hitting linebackers, but they don't have that burst. They don't have that speed. So with Saquon Barkley, if they miss him, then it's up to the secondary at that point, which they could take care of business. But I think I would have a good mix of Roquan Smith and Malik Harrison, but also Roquan Smith and Trenton Simpson. Because, again, we need that speed from a linebacker in this game to be on Saquon Barkley. Now, with him, too, I would definitely have somebody watching him at all times, especially on them screens, because they're going to try to get him the ball any way possible. It's very similar to the Chargers and J.K. Dobbins, how it was with him, because they were using him as a running back. He was running the ball, and he was doing a good job. They were also using him in a passing game like crazy. It's going to be the same thing. Ravens need to be all over that, because he is amazing. Saquon Barkley is like that, as we all know. So they got to have him accounted for at all times. Next question came from my guy, Zlager, who's also a Team Keep It Clean patron. He said, hope all is well with you, Zlager. He said, we need the defense to come to play so Derrick Henry can pass Saquon Barkley in rushing yards. Now, that is a very high possibility that happens. If that Ravens number one run defense, if they show up like they hopefully do and should, then Derrick Henry could pass Saquon Barkley tomorrow in rushing yards. But something to think about is that while that could happen, and hopefully it does, Saquon Barkley, they already had their bye week. So Saquon Barkley, he got the advantage right now when it comes to rushing yards. Like, the Ravens will need some crazy games to end out the season for Derrick Henry in order for him to pass up Saquon Barkley. Now, we play the Eagles, so we'll see how that goes tomorrow. We play the Steelers, so that's going to be tough right there. Ravens, they just got to stay in their element. Don't get out of your game, because I was just talking to one of my guys about this earlier today. Too many times when the Baltimore Ravens play the Pittsburgh Steelers and Chiefs, they just abandon who they are. They abandon their identity, and that cost them so many games against those teams. But, and a lot of times, what makes it even worse is that the opposing the Chiefs and the Steelers, they don't even dictate how the games be going. They don't even make them abandon themselves. It's like the Ravens go against those teams and they just have all the mental breakdowns and mental issues against those teams all the time. But anyway, the Ravens go against the Eagles tomorrow. They go against the Steelers. They go against the Giants. So that could be a good one right there. They go against the Texans. That could be another one right there too. And they go against the Browns. So they're going to have opportunities for Derrick Henry to just take off. But it's going to take a lot. It's going to take extra from Derrick Henry if he is going to become the Russian champion for this year over Saquon Barkley. Next question came from my guy, Jay. He said, hey, Ingraven, less of a question and more of a statement. After watching that nightmare that was the Bears Thanksgiving game and how incompetent their head coach has been the entire season, oh, my goodness, that was bad. But that is it's on the head coach big time. It's also on Caleb Williams. But at the same time, when you think about it, because Caleb Williams should have called timeout, and it was just a poor sequence of events. But as the head coach, this is a rookie quarterback. This is his first year in the league, so like that's more so on you because you're the head coach of a rookie quarterback. He does take some responsibility in that whole thing, but as the head coach, you're over. You're the head coach, and he's a rookie quarterback. This ain't your first year in the league, my friend. So, yeah, and they got him up out of there. I think what it was the next day, they fired him. Anyway, he said, after all of that, it made me realize how grateful I am to be a Ravens fan. That's a good point. Because we be on here, we talking about how we feel like Ravens need to get better at this. They need to do this better. Oh, they abandoned this. They struggle with this. We talk about all that, and we also talk about what they do well. We talk about all of that stuff, but we talk about it on a different level than a lot of these other teams talk about it. We talk about it so the Ravens can win a Super Bowl, so they can be the best Baltimore Ravens they could possibly be. A lot of these other teams, they talk about a lot of the same stuff, but they just trying to win 4 games. They trying to win 5 games. They trying to get over 500. So it's different, man. And yeah, that does give you a nice little tap on the shoulder, like, hey, like, be appreciative. Don't settle. I ain't saying don't settle. Don't be like, oh, well, hey, at least we make it to the playoffs every year. That's great, but we obviously want more for the Baltimore Ravens, and we feel like they should be achieving more. But there's a lot of teams out here they wish their team could even sniff the playoffs, even sniff it. And a lot of these teams, they ain't been there in years. And they done had top QBs. They done drafted top QBs and got new head coaches and whatnot. And it ain't been working. But with the Ravens, they be there. They be there and they have a lot of success. We just want them to have that ultimate success. But anyway, continuing, he said, for all of the team's flaws and sometimes reluctance to change, there has always been a high standard that the team upholds. Even going back to the rough parts of the Flacco era, there has never really been a situation where I have totally given up on a season. Well, I would say 2015. But that's when everybody got hurt. And that was rough. He said, I've never had to experience the pain that a Panthers or Browns fan feels what seems like every other year. That part is true. That's exactly what we were just talking about. And it's so consistent for them. Like, imagine being a fan of one of those teams. And I'm sure you know somebody, all of us know somebody who is a fan of one of those teams. And what they be going, like, why they look forward to the season? They don't look forward to the season like a Ravens fan will look forward to the season. Obviously, nobody looks forward to a season like a Chiefs fan will look forward to the season. But they don't look forward to the season with optimism. They're like, oh, here we go again. Here we go again. And imagine that. Imagine that for 6 months, from August to January, you're just like, oh, here goes again. Yeah, hope for the best, but yeah, we ain't really counting on nothing. That would suck. That would be terrible. So we got it pretty good, man. We gonna have it better after this season once the Ravens win the Super Bowl again, but we got it pretty good. Anyway, he said, while we all hope to get over the hump and win a Super Bowl soon with, in my opinion, the most gifted quarterback in NFL history, it's worth appreciating how fortunate we are to support one of the NFL's few truly first-class organizations. He said, that being said, we better win on Sunday, LOL. He said, keep up the great work and sending my best wishes to you and your family. Appreciate you, Jay.